Recorded live with little or no editing and probably on the fourth take, it's Defense Up. I'm your host, Ron7. How you doing? Today we're going to go over Manley's defense, but before we jump into that, I want to talk a little bit about war and where we're at. Oh, I got something gross on my shirt. That's yucky. Okay. So, as usual, I like to tell people don't invest in war defense teams, which is kind of stupid because this whole segment is about war defense teams and how to make them better. But really, that should be your last thing to invest in. I think the state of the game is this. We're getting these power leapt characters because they are trying to somewhat reset all of Marvel Strike Force, and then later they can, rework the older characters to bring them up to an even keel. But right now, it's kind of a good and a bad time for new players to get in. If you came in just before Surfer, you're doing great because you've got Surfer and Kestra and all these other characters, and things are going really well for you. If you're just coming in like today, you're going to have a little bit harder time, but at the same time, you can also skip like everything else and just focus on any new character that comes to the game. And Scopely is doing a pretty decent job of making those characters available. Better yet, those characters are available and usable at low stars, which has never happened before. It's always been you need like 5 yellow, 4 red for the character to be playable. And now we have characters that are playable at 3 stars. So that's kind of cool. However, your focus still needs to be on raids, and maybe a little bit of arena. But basically, you're going to take your best raid teams and make your arena team out of that. And then everything that's left over is you use for Dark Dimension and stuff too. So once you have all that stuff in place, then you start worrying about war defense. But we're going to take a look at Manley's defense right now. We're going to start off with team number 1 is the Hydra 1.0. Now, he's got, let's see, he's got good power in Red Skull. Interesting ISOs. The ISOs on this team don't matter so much. I kind of like to go heavy on the Fortifier. Healer's probably the only one I would bother changing. The way this revive mechanic works, they don't really use those rejuves, so it's best to make him Fortifier or something else that's going to actually have more of an impact. Scientist has some healing properties, so maybe that's okay. Like I said, it really doesn't matter. They die and come back. They die and come back. It has nothing to do with their ISOs. Fortifier makes it a little tougher to kill them each time, but that's about it. So yeah, I think this is a fine setup. Placement doesn't matter so much. I gotta worry about my desk right there covering things up. Maybe I should get some green to put over it. Anyway, we're working with a new studio here today. So yeah, I like this. This is fine. If you want to make this team better though, put Zemo on it. Put Zemo on it and it makes this team like 10 times harder to beat. For right now, it's just a B team. Nothing special. Bring up the power levels on your sniper a little bit. Don't worry about it too much. It's not really a team worth investing. Team 2 is the Wave 1 Avengers. Standard format. I see your placement is off. Your ISOs are off. Your power levels are okay. So you want to be going Captain America, Hulk, Thor. Captain America, Hulk, Black Widow, Thor, Hawkeye. So Hawkeye also needs to be changed to a striker if you're going to run Black Widow as a skirmisher. You can reverse those two. Doesn't matter which way you do it. Kind of dealer's choice there. Black Widow's used on the Skeleton team, and I believe they're running her as a skirmisher on the Skeleton team. Check in the comments if I got that wrong, but I think she's a skirmisher in the Skeleton team, so it's probably best to keep her as a skirmisher. But change him to a striker. Change Thor to a raider, not a striker. He does lots of splash and chain damage. Healer and healer on these guys is perfectly fine. You can also make them Fortifier, but I don't really like to. I don't like Fortifiers on most of the tanks. So, fix your placement, fix your ISOs. You're getting a C for this team. Those ISOs and placement actually do matter. Team number 3 is the Mercs with Shuri and Killmonger. Let's see here. So you definitely need to bring up your power level in Lieutenant. He's a squishy one, and you got to watch out for, at this power level, X Factor is still, or no, I'm sorry, X Force is still a team that can come in and beat this and punch up pretty good. And they're going to be able to punch up specifically because of Merc Lieutenant's power level. If you can bring him up to, say, 70k, they're going to have a lot harder time coming in with X Force. Shuri is just getting old, man. Nobody likes Shuri anymore. I think you should get rid of Shuri. I think you should put in Korath. I've been testing it. He's been doing pretty well. The reason Korath works is because he's fast and because you have a slight chance that he will land an ability block on somebody that matters, and you could get a, kind of an RNG win that way. The cool part is, though, is if your Taskmaster is pretty big, Korath is really, really fast. He spawns with speed up. He almost always goes first against any team that's coming in against them, and you get that extra triple hit combo if your ISOs are set up right, which yours are not. So, Taskmaster is always a skirmisher. Always, always. Yes, I know that Killmonger has some synergy with the Raider ISO, but on this team, you want him a striker. If you decide to replace Shuri with Korath, he's going to be a striker. I would change Merc Riot Guard to a striker also. He doesn't pop off that fast, so you're only getting some small rejuves once in a great while, and you're better off going with the striker combo because you can get a lot of damage out of this nice Taskmaster that you've got going here. So, excuse me. Because you don't have him as a skirmisher, you are missing out on a lot of defensive victories. That skirmisher striker combo for this team is amazing. So I'm recommending you change Shuri. I don't think that's a negative having her in here. A lot of people used to do that. I'm just not seeing the victories anymore. So I think she's just kind of becoming outdated. I think you should go ahead and use your Mercs. Find someplace else for Shuri to go. Hopefully she gets a home, maybe even a rework soon because her health bar is so low. Change those ISOs. Striker Skirmisher combos off of Taskmaster is what you really want to go. You can leave him as a healer, but definitely bring up his power level. I'm going to give you a C- for this team. That ISO on Taskmaster is a big no-no for this team. It's all about the Striker Skirmisher combo for here. Team number 4 is the Pimtech. Who cares about Pimtech, man? I mean, you have a big ghost. Don't invest in the rest of them. Your ISOs, you need to have Ant-Man and Yellow Jacket as skirmishers, and you want her as a striker and Ghost as a striker also. No, wait, I'm sorry. You want to have Stature as a fortifier. You want Ghost as a striker. You want these two as skirmishers because they are called in for an assist. One of them half the time, the other half of the time. So together, it's 100% chance of a striker skirmisher combo off of Ghost. And then you have Wasp, who should probably be a Raider. However, don't invest in this team other than Ghost. Ghost is great in DD4. She's good in other stuff too. She's not my favorite character. I think people like her more than I do, but she is valuable. She's good. She works well. So build up your Ghost. Don't touch the rest of them. The placement on this team doesn't matter so much, but definitely change those ISOs around. You're gonna get more value if you get these two guys as skirmishers and Ghost as a striker. I'm gonna give you a C+ for this team. It's kind of a meh team, so it doesn't really matter too much. Next up, we've got Heroes for Hire with JJ as the 5th. Okay, I think you should swap JJ and Iron Fist's placement. Then let's see, you've got Striker, Skirmisher, Striker on JJ. You should make JJ a skirmisher. Don't worry too much about JJ because Shang-Chi is coming and we're going to replace her anyway. Iron Fist is a healer, that's good, and I'm recommending that we go Fortifier on Luke Cage. He's too slow to pass out any of those rejuves, and the rejuves don't really matter anyways because it's just like the Hydra 1.0. They die, they revive, they die, they revive, and usually those rejuves aren't even happening. So the reason I think that you should leave Iron Fist as a healer is because he has healing in his kit, and that active healing is getting a boost from the healer ISO 8, and that's good. He uses it a lot, every turn in fact, so that's a good one. But Fortifier on Luke Cage, change her to a skirmisher, or leave it, who cares, Shang-Chi's coming out. And then just work on getting stars on these two. Of course, we can't get stars right now, but you know, that's what you want to do. And then get Shang-Chi in here. I'm not sure where the placement is going to be on Shang-Chi. I think later in stream, we're probably going to look over his kit and stuff and see what's going on. So we'll check that out. All in all, it's pretty good. I think you got a B team going right here. Power levels need to go up a little bit more. You know, some gear, some T4s, stuff like that. Again, I'm not investing in my heroes for hire. I'm just bringing them up to 6664, gear tier 12. I'm going to leave them there. I just don't like... The team's kind of... I don't know. It's a cheeseball mechanic. I can't get behind it. It is the best defensive team in the game right now, but it just doesn't excite me. All right, team number 6. Here is... Oh, this is a hybrid composition here. Something new. I like this. Okay, let's take a look here. So you've got Ultimus in there as a striker, okay. Minerva as a healer, good. Hela as a raider, she's off her team, so that's correct. Loki as a skirmisher, good. And Captain Marvel as a healer to keep her alive. So, symbiotes or Axemen absolutely annihilate this team. That's why you've got Ultimus in here. Ultimus helps with those, with both of those teams, but not at that power level. So if you're gonna run this team, bring up Ultimus, but honestly, I think you should just get Hela out of there. Just get Hela out of there, you know? Throw in Sif or something, because this is a junk team. This is a bunch of scrap that you're not really using anywhere else. Sorry, I got blitz alarms going off. Yeah, I'd say power up Ultimus. I'd swap out Hela. Use her on offense. Although, you know, we were using Hela on the Supernatural team. The Hela Naturals is what they were calling it. But now I'm hearing that Deathpool is absolutely amazing on that team for war offense, which I never thought about, but she's probably got a lot of synergy there. So maybe Hela won't be used. I don't know. It's just Hela's a real liability with Greg anymore. With Greg and the symbiotes. Like, any symbiotes team can punch way up on a Hela on any team. So it's kind of tough. If you're gonna leave Hela on this team, maybe swap Loki with somebody who taunts. I'm not sure. I don't know. It's a scrap team. You got good ISOs here. You're trying for stuff. I'm gonna give you a B- for this. It's something to do. You're not wasting any resources. Although I would say that Minerva could be used on a Marauder team. She could be used elsewhere in defense. And Hela could be used on offense. So I would, you know, honestly, I'd give you like a B+ for this team, but you're kind of wasting resources there. But it's interesting. So we'll see how that goes. Report back to me. Let me know if you get any defensive victories. I'm pretty sure people are just going to come into this with a 400 symbiote to destroy it. Number 7, Doc Ock. Okay. So here's the thing that we could be doing right now, and it's kind of a cheap, lame thing to do. Take Rhino off the team and put Green Goblin in there. Green Goblin's causing the game to freeze up. He's also a legitimate choice for the team, and Rhino can also be used on a X-Factor team, yes, with the Dad Bros. He can be used on that team going into the Brotherhood Doom defense. He's really good for that. I can explain it some other time, but he's great for that. So it's a legitimate reason to be putting Green Goblin in. Also, other people are putting Green Goblin in on their defenses, meaning you cannot get past those rooms because the game locks up and you have to force close the app. And it's kind of a prisoner's dilemma here. Do you do it? Do you not do it? Other people are doing it. Other people are accidentally doing it, not even knowing that they've got Green Goblin on their defense. It also works with Killmonger. It also works with Falcon, and I hear Vision has some issues too. So it's kind of a cheesy thing to do, but I don't think anybody else is going to avoid it. It'd be nice if we all went, hey, let's play together and not, you know, have crappy wars, and everybody took those characters off of defense so we could all have fun, but that's not going to happen. Anyway, if you're going to run this team, and this team is fine to run, you've got good placement. You've got one of your chargeable characters adjacent to Doc Ock. You've got Rhino adjacent to Doc Ock, giving him the cleanse. That's good. Healer on Doc Ock. Go ahead and take him to level 5 healer. It's totally worth it. Raider, Striker. You could go with Raider on Rhino. Yeah, otherwise it's pretty good. It's a good setup. Yeah. You know, your Rhino isn't even that big. You know, depending on how big your Green Goblin is, he might actually be the better choice. Don't put Mysterio in here anymore. That makes it easy for the symbiotes to come in and crush this team. So, yeah, as is, this is actually a pretty good build. I'm gonna give you a B+ for this. That's not bad. All right, team number 8 is the Marauders. It's perfect, just perfect. Did it just right. That's an A for that team. If you want to improve this team, this is where you could put Emma in. You could replace Sabretooth with, not Emma, with Minerva. And you could replace Mystique with Doom, or Magneto. Has some good synergy in here. Makes for an interesting team. But this is an A team, standard issue setup. As we are approaching higher and higher wars, it's becoming more and more likely that we're just going to break up this team entirely. It's got too many counters. So that's it. Coming up next, we're going to go over Duke Alien's defense, but thank you for joining me for this one. Remember, don't just have a good game, be good to yourselves and each other too.